I'm going to say something that might sound controversial at first, but stay with me. If Jesus had a beginning, then he's not God. So why does the Bible call him the Son? Wait, think about it for a second. If Jesus is the Son of God, does that mean he had a beginning? Because if he had a beginning, then he's not eternal. And if he's not eternal, then he's not God. So what are we really saying when we call him the Son? So let me be clear up front. This is not about the church getting it wrong. The church has preserved this truth very carefully. But here's the issue. We've kept language, but we haven't explained what it really means. So what happens? People hear the word son and they fill in the definition themselves. And when that happens, people don't reject the truth, they redefine it without realizing it. Because when we hear the word son, we think in human terms: birth, timeline, a beginning. A father exists, then the son comes later. That's how it works for us. But what if that assumption is the problem? What if we're taking a human definition and forcing it onto an eternal God? Because God is not bound by time. He doesn't exist inside a timeline like we do. So when we apply our definition of son to him, we distort what scripture is actually saying. And without even realizing it, we start thinking of Jesus as if he was created. But the Bible is not saying that. It's not even close. To understand this, we have to step into the mindset of the biblical authors. In the ancient world, the phrase son of wasn't mainly about origin. It was about nature. Let me say this again. Not origin, but nature. Son of man means human. Son of God means divine. So when Jesus is called the Son of God, the claim is not that he came into existence. The claim is that he shares the very nature of God himself. And this is exactly why people reacted the way they did. Let me explain. When Jesus said that he was the Son of God, they didn't hear something symbolic. They heard something explosive. Because in their world, the phrase meant equality. Okay? Not similarity, but equality. Same nature, same essence, same divine identity. They understood what he was saying. The question is, do we understand it? In biblical times, when Jesus said this, they understood what he was saying. But do we? But now here is where it gets even more powerful. Because someone listening might be thinking, okay, so Jesus is fully God, but wasn't he also human? So which is it? And the answer is not one or the other. It's actually both. Jesus is not half God and half man. He's not God pretending to be human. He is fully God and fully man at the same time. And this is where human language starts to break down. Because when God entered creation, he didn't stop being God. He took on humanity without losing his divinity. Not God reduced, but God revealed. This is what we mean when we say God incarnate, God in flesh. So when we say Son of God, we're not talking about when he began. And when we say Son of Man, we're talking about what he became. Fully divine, fully human, one person. So then why do we keep using that word son? Because even though the word is limited, it communicates something we cannot lose. The early church said it like this: eternally begotten, not made. Not made means not created. Eternal means no beginning. So Son doesn't mean he started at some point. It means he has always been in perfect relationship with the Father. So no, God did not create Jesus. And the word Son was never meant to tell you when he began, because he never did. It was meant to reveal who he has always been. The church didn't get it wrong, but somewhere along the way, we stopped explaining it, stopped teaching it. And when we don't understand the language of Scripture, we start reading eternal truth through a temporary lens. And maybe that is exactly where the problem begins. Because what if the words Father and Son aren't limiting God, but are actually the closest thing we have to understand him? Think about it. We live in a world that God created, a world built on relationship, family, identity, father, son, daughter. And that's not accidental, because we see relationship even within the Godhead itself. So when God created mankind, he didn't invent relationship out of nothing. He created us in a way that reflects what already exists in him, which means we don't project relationship unto God. God is the reason relationship exists at all. So when he reveals himself, he reveals the Godhead to us through the lens of relationship. Not because it fully explains him, but because it points us to the right direction. Because the truth is, we will never fully understand God's nature. We are bound in time. He is not. He is God, and we are not. And maybe that's what all of this has been pointing to this entire time. That God is not distant. He's not abstract. He's relational. The language of Father, the language of Son, it's not just theology. It's an invitation. Because from the beginning, God has always wanted a relationship with us. Not just to be understood, but to be known. And that has never changed. And I'll see you guys on the next video.